In 1971, 4 of the best men in the American Army were arrested for a crime they did not commit. Wait, wrong script. In 1971, President Nixon stopped selling ounces of gold at a fixed price. He suspended the dollar's convertibility to gold, closing the last remaining link between money and gold. Since then, money is 100% debt. Back to our story. After Marcia's explanations about the 2 forms of money, Anna and Milton discuss what they have understood and share their conclusions with Marcia. First, how can the banks sleep at night if they owe so much money to people? We only borrow something when we need it, and we return it straight away. Second, if Bank BBB owes you 10,000 euros, why don't you ask them to pay you back? Marcia sees that the idea of money as the bank's debt to its customers is not something easily understood, so she tries to explain it in another way. Current money has 2 sides. From the point of view of whoever has the money, in green on the right, Marcia in this case, and from the point of view of whoever creates the money, in dark red on the left, Bank BBB in this case. We said that Bank BBB has a list of the people to whom it owes money. In this list, the BBB has recorded that Marcia has 9,990 euros, because the BBB owes her those 9,990 euros. When the BBB has recorded in its list that Marcia has 9,990 euros, that means for Marcia she can buy things worth 9,990 euros. She can make payments up to 9,990 euros. That is, for Marcia, the money she has deposited in Bank BBB, just like notes and coins, is what she uses to pay. For Bank BBB, which has created Marcia's money, that money is a promise of payment. That is, Bank BBB must do what is necessary to allow Marcia to use her money to pay. It has to do the dirty work. So for Marcia, that deposited money is a kind of voucher for example, good for a small car whose price is exactly 9,990 euros in deposit. For Bank BBB, Marcia's money is an obligation to do what is necessary to allow Marcia to pay up to 9,990 euros. For example, a small car whose price is exactly 9,990 euros in deposit. In plain English, for Bank BBB, it is an I owe you, and for Marcia, it would be a you owe me. Current money is a trust relationship between Marcia and her bank. Marcia must trust that her bank, the BBB, will do what is necessary for her to be able to make payments, for example, to buy things, and Bank BBB must do everything necessary for Marcia to be able to make her payments. Just as with Marcia, the BBB needs to have this relationship with all of its customers, the supermarket, the greengrocer, the clothing store, and the egg shop. It seems Anna and Milton understand better now, but to finish convincing them, Marcia tells them how the original farmers used gold coins as money. They sold eggs at the market in exchange for gold coins, the form of money of the time, and used those coins to buy the clothes and food they needed. After working hard for many years on the farm, things began to go well for the originals, and they accumulated a certain amount of gold in their house, which was a concern, as they feared it might be stolen. So they went to the bank. The first banks had safes where they stored the gold that people deposited. The first time the originals went to the bank, they handed over 100 gold doubloons, which ceased to be on the list of things the originals owned and passed on to the list of things the bank owned. In exchange, the bank gave them a piece of paper saying that the bank owed the originals 100 gold doubloons. In short, the originals exchanged 100 gold doubloons for a piece of paper stating that Bank BBB owed them 100 gold doubloons. Meanwhile, the bank now had 100 more gold doubloons than before, those the originals had deposited. And on the other hand, by creating this paper and handing it to the originals, the bank owed 100 more gold doubloons than it had before. Over time, this paper created by the bank in exchange for gold would come to be called a banknote. And also over time, the egg market stopped paying the originals with gold coins and began paying them with banknotes. So the originals began paying with those notes to buy food and clothing. In this way, the transition was made from using gold coins as money to using notes that represented gold as money. The notes represented gold because a customer, such as the originals, could go to the bank and hand over the 100 doubloon note. In exchange for receiving the note, the bank would hand over the 100 gold doubloons. The bank, upon receiving the note and giving back the 100 gold doubloons, no longer owed the originals the 100 gold doubloons. That is, the bank's debt to the originals was cancelled. But this happened rarely, since as long as people trusted that notes could be used to buy things, it was more useful to use notes than gold. People went to the bank to exchange notes for gold mainly when they lost confidence in the bank. That is, when they thought it was safer to have gold than the bank's banknotes. Milton and Anna, who have been listening very carefully, are clear on it. Mum, let's go to the bank and convert your 10,000 euros into gold doubloons. I'm sorry, kids, we can't. It's been a long time since there was convertibility into gold. Now money is always debt, from a normal bank or from the central bank. That is, money can be in the form of bank deposits. Money owed to me by the BBB, or, in the form of notes and coins, money owed to me by the central bank. But Mom, it makes no sense. Current money is something owed to you by the BBB or the central bank, but they will never pay you back. Exactly, replies Marcia, smiling. But it doesn't matter that they will never pay me back, because both notes and bank deposits allow us to buy what we need, like food or Pokemon cards.